We are now at the last segment of my show, which is about my perspective on this sort of entire, um, I guess, phenomena of content creation and how many creators have become complacent. And I'm kind of really likening it to having a 9 to 5. So let's talk about this now. Thank you so much for watching my show, enjoying all my segments, because the YouTube studio metrics shows me that you are, and I am retaining you, but also your comments and your support, not just here on YouTube, but on my social media as well. So the last part of my show is my perspective, is something that I will share on my Substack as well as my own personal YouTube channel, where I also share my creative works, art, etc., etc. And you can find out more about that in the description. So content creation has made many of us and all of us very complacent in a way that 9 to 5s used to. I've got to get rid of this off my screen. I always forget to do that. Content creation for a long time told us, okay, you do this, you get this, you do this, you get this. And now we do this and we're not getting this. Sorry, we're doing this and we're not getting this. And it's the same way that 9 to 5s used to basically kind of give us that kind of comfort. They still do. It's like, you've got to do this and then you get this, and rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. With content creation, it's not like that anymore. It's not like that, which is why I'm quite happy to still have a 9 to 5, which is why I'm quite happy to not still be doing that thing that I spent quite a lot of time doing, which was, I've got to do all of this in order to replace my 9 to 5. But all of this, I'm a bit it's suspect, as Ben Affleck said in Good Will Hunting. That scene, I love that scene, where Ben Affleck goes to Will's, the character Will's interview, and he says, "You're suspect." I love that part. So I'm quite happy. I think I just bit my cheek. I'm quite happy to not fall into this sort of content creator trap like anymore. I'm quite happy. And the reason why I think it's a trap is because the algorithm, the platform, YouTube, wherever, is behaving like a boss. It's behaving like a 9 to 5. It doesn't feel entrepreneurial anymore. So doing this and getting this is no longer working. Posting every week, providing a link for people to click on and they get your stuff, and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's not happening anymore. It's not happening anymore. And I think that's why many creators who are established are saying, yeah, it's not happening. It's not working for us anymore. So, as a result, sorry, I just had to block another abusive commenter on my live show. Sorry. People are very offended by articulate women online. How did that happen? When did that happen? So this sort of content creation process is just not the same anymore. It's very different. It's not happening in the same way. People are having to do pivots. People who are established creators are having to do pivots. They are asking you to go to their Patreon or support them in some other way. They are having to work very hard to retain your attention and get you to support them, invest in them in different ways on multiple platforms. And the problem with that is this: it becomes so process heavy. It's like, I've got to do this and I've got to rinse and repeat this. It feels like a 9 to 5. It's like a 9 to 5, which is why I mix it up. And the other thing that I always also find is necessary is not to put that kind of expectation on content creation anymore. The Serena's Playbook video that I put out was really about the ROI not necessarily being, I got this many clicks, this many views, and people paid for this many courses or whatever. It is, okay, I'm getting better at communicating my ideas. I'm building expertise in a different way. It's a great demonstration of what I'm capable of and how I connect with an audience and how I build an audience. It's given me the ability to figure out how to produce content, how to then do a sort of analysis and evaluation, and then do better. Like that's got to be sort of the shift, I think, with content creation. And then you might get lucky, because it does feel like a lottery. It does feel like luck. Like let's not forget that such a thing as buying subscribers and views exists, because it does. A lot of the big creators that we know may have, may have taken some shortcuts. I mean, it's out there. It's as a suggestion of what might be going on. So I think the issue I have is that I can't fully trust an established creator and the course and the training that they are offering, when I don't know if that's indeed how they got there. But also, they may have got there at a time using that formula when the algorithm, and the AI, the algorithm gods were much kinder. But that's not the way it's going now. So you're teaching me a course based on your growth that happened 4 years ago, but growth is now not presenting itself in the same way. So how are you sustaining it? Because your start is hey Adam, um your starting place is very different. Your starting place is very different because, as an established creator who benefited from the way things were pre 2020 or whatever, you are now you are now selling a course in your methodology for a time when the algorithm is not behaving in the same way. So how does it make sense to then buy a course unless you are constantly having to rewrite, redesign, redevise your training so that it reflects the conditions now? But you haven't grown in these conditions now. You grew in other conditions. So that's where I feel like we are in this sort of territory of, is this snake oil? This is a bad idea. I need to check my expectations. And that's what I'm finding a lot more with content creation, is that because we're not realizing that we have to adjust our expectations, we are in a grind that feels like another 9 to 5. And that's why so many burn out. So I would approach it as an academic or an artist. And that is, do it for the love of it. And if you get something back, awesome. Otherwise, don't expect it to pay your bills. Don't expect it to pay your bills. For me, content creation currently is about investment in myself, investment in my team, and legacy and opportunities that come out of it. It's awesome. But it's having the freedom to publish. I won't say anything more about what I'm about to publish, but having the freedom to publish, the ability to publish, the skills, the opportunity to publish is awesome. See it as that. And whatever else comes from that, brilliant. It is frustrating if you put in a lot of time into all of this and then it doesn't yield the same results. But it's not the same as being on a market stall all day and selling products and they're not getting paid. You know, you're selling a product, you're handing it over to somebody and they're passing it back to you, like giving you some cash for it. So this is not the same thing. It requires a whole, I mean, it's not, it used to be a little bit like that when people were like, yeah, this creator's selling, and not many creators are selling. Now you don't even have to be your typical quintessential creator. You could just be like a high school teacher. No, not just be. You could be a high school teacher who isn't even on social media, but is now endorsing a product on TikTok and making a bag of money, right? So it's the game has changed. The game has changed, and that's why we need to as well. And that's why creators creation is giving us an opportunity to go back to what creation actually originally is meant to be, and that is for the sake of creating. That's my take on and my perspective this week, which you have found in Serena Sayed's weekly show, as well as on my Substack and dedicated Serena Sayed the Sane channel. It's been so wonderful to have you here for this weekly show. Thank you so much for your time and patience, especially your attention, because we know it is in demand. Thank you for tolerating my response and slight reactivity to trolls in the comment section. Also, if you want to get content in a sort of a dedicated space for artists and thinkers and creatives, then you can go to Life Vocabulary, where reviews as well as interviews will be available. And there's already uh, a library of content available on Life Vocabulary. Everything is linked. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And I will see you in the next show. And if you haven't subscribed already, then what were you waiting for? Thanks again. Have a great week ahead.